Let's see how you do under pressure. Oh, yeah. I've been wanting this forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Okay. Hey. Yeah. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in to another episode podcast to talk about our favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals. Huge shout out to the people that are currently in chat. We got Juan, we got Uncanny, we got Spider, we got Adrian, we got Chef Alex. What's up, y'all? Appreciate you guys for being here. Do me a huge favor, smack up the like button here on your way in. We are on the road to 17K. Cannot do it without you guys. Go ahead and subscribe it up. It's absolutely for free, and it lets you know when we drop the next video. Or when we go live, or when we drop just anything, right? So make sure you go ahead and have your post notification bell on as well. Appreciate you guys for coming in. We got a lot to talk about that ended up dropping yesterday. Tyrann Mathieu. We got Trey McBride news earlier today. And of course, you got some training camp news throughout the entirety of the NFL that we're going to be dabbling into as well. And we're also going to be talking about training camp as well, right? I believe the start of the open training camp for the fans actually is tomorrow for the Arizona Cardinals in 2025, and I'm just excited. Like, let's put some fire emojis here in the comments below, but just the excitement overall with football's almost back, right? Like, this is the start of football season, just being at the verge of coming back. So I'm super excited about it. Let me know how excited you are in the comments below. But yes, without further ado, everybody, let's go and dive right into it. Let's talk about this. We got a lot to dive into. Now, obviously, Arizona Cardinals news plus training camp updates. We're going to be diving into that here pretty soon. But overall, let's talk about what we've heard yesterday, right? Now, we ended up hearing that Tyrann Mathieu, former Arizona Cardinal, I'm going to say legend, man. I started, well, actually not really. I mean, but Tyrann Mathieu was such a big figure within this whole Carson Palmer, Patrick Peterson, Larry Fitzgerald, and probably like the tail end of the season. Like the run of 2015, like that run was such a magical time for the Arizona Cardinals. And of course, Tyrann Mathieu was a big focal point within that defense, right? Some people might have said that he, if he didn't get hurt, we might have made a big push. But I don't know. Carolina was like on a different level in that game, and we just got absolutely blown out. But Tyrann Mathieu has now officially called for retirement. He's done playing football, and he's had a great career, right? Obviously with the Arizona Cardinals. I believe he spent some time with the Texans, if I'm not mistaken, but he was with the Chiefs, and then he ended up finishing off the season with the New Orleans Saints. So overall, kind of jumped around, but he's always been a player that I would have loved to stay here in the Arizona Cardinals, very similar to Calais Campbell. Calais Campbell obviously came back. This might be his final year, but, Tyrann Mathieu is definitely one of those guys as well. So I'm really, kind of, it's this nostalgic feeling, I guess is the best way to describe it. Just remembering his play style and what he did with the Arizona Cardinals on the field. Just overall, very awesome time, right? Remembering the secondary with P2 and him, Powers, Johnson, right, and the other few people out there, Jefferson, right, all those other guys that were in the secondary back then. It just kind of brought back a lot of memories. So definitely congratulations to a good career, right? A fantastic career and what he's accomplished. I know maybe the Arizona Cardinals aren't, the biggest highlight when it comes down to maybe his career in his eyes, but to us, it is, right? He was a honey badger. He was a big focal point in the defense. And like I said before, it was unfortunate that he didn't finish off his career here, but at the end of the day, I understand it. So congratulations over to Tyrann Mathieu. Did a fantastic job with the Arizona Cardinals. And yeah, hope nothing but, good things in his next chapter in his life and whatever he decides to do. Let's move on over to the next news that we ended up diving into earlier today. We ended up hearing that Trey McBride has made it to the top 100 list. This is really cool, man. This is really cool. Honestly, at the end of the day, Trey McBride was probably one of our best weapons on the offensive side of the ball last year, and it wasn't even close, right? Or, I mean, you can kind of put a close second, James Conner being up there as well, right? James Conner and Trey McBride, definitely up there, but he made it on the top 100 list, and I believe it was number 65 that he ended up cracking. I did see some comments here by a couple people on my social medias, whether it's Instagram or X. A lot of people were like, he should have been a lot higher. Yeah, I mean, some people could definitely very well say should definitely been a lot higher for sure. But I mean, I think the whole touchdown it didn't do him any favors to not have as many touchdowns as, for example, Kelsey or Kittle, right? But I think that will change in this year. It almost kind of felt like this last year was kind of his coming out party where we knew him, right? We knew as Arizona Cardinal fans that he was him, that he was great. It's just it did take a while for him to kind of come onto the scene. We needed to wait for Ertz to kind of take the back seat, and then Trey McBride, once he got given the opportunity, he took it and run, man. So awesome to see another Cardinal in the top 100. We ended up seeing Josh Sweat in the top part of the 100 list. I believe, if I can remember correctly, he was number 95. So there was 30 players between Cardinal number 1 and Cardinal number 2. Obviously, Josh Sweat was not with us in 2024, but Trey McBride was, and he definitely deserves it. Absolutely. Second Cardinal being on the top 100. I'm kind of curious to figure out where your guys' mindset is. Who else do you think is going to be on this list? James Conner, Buda Baker, right? Kyler, maybe somebody somewhere on this list as well. Let me know what your overall thoughts and where do you think they're going to find themselves. Let me know here in the comments. I'm very, very curious. We got a couple people here on the chat. Chef in the chat says big ups to Trey. Absolutely. He deserves it, man. He really does. I mean, what he's done in this last year was magical. Like I said, I wish the touchdowns followed suit, but I do believe that this next year is definitely going to follow suit. Absolutely. So excited about that. Now, let's dive into, obviously, those are the big Cardinal news that ended up dropping. Yesterday, we talked about Will Johnson finally being, pen to paper. So we're not going to really dive into that here very much, but I really want to kind of talk about, the big storylines that's currently happening right now in the NFL. And of course, there's a lot of big names out there pertaining to not either being in training camp, Tyrann McLaurin being one of them, Trey Hendrickson being another guy as well. I'm not sure if you guys ended up seeing this news, but we've seen Adam Schefter put out this tweet saying that the Commanders officially placed wide receiver Terry McLaurin on the reserve/did not report list. So we know that there's a contract dispute going on amongst both parties, the Terry McLaurin camp as well as the Commanders camp. But the Commanders, every chance they get, right, whenever they get a chance to speak to the media, they come out and basically say the same thing. We want him here, right? We want him here, and, we expect him to be here. But there's obviously a what's the word? There's obviously a disconnect between player and organization. He wants to get paid more, and rightfully so. I think he had a really good year in 2024, and he's the number one weapon. He's the number one weapon when it comes down to Jaden Daniels, the number one weapon. He is, like, let's call it like it is. So the Commanders placing him on the reserve/did not report list. I'm assuming he's going to come with some fines. Because let's be real, he is under contract still. He probably should have showed up in camp and maybe did a hold in. But at the end of the day, it's not my decision. It's him and his team and whatever they decide to do. I'm always pro player at the end of the day. It's just to me, I would like to find any way to try to avoid fines, but he's got a lot of money, so it is what it is. But this might be getting a little hairier than most people anticipated. I remember originally when this news dropped about Terry McLaurin, people were so, and I'm talking about Commanders fans. That's what I'm talking. Those people, right? Those people, those Commander fans, they were very, very convinced that this was not going to be a thing when training camp comes around. They were so convinced that, oh, don't worry about it. Stop mocking, Terry McLaurin to a different team. I mean, guys, we're in the verge of training camp right now. I mean, it started already for the Cardinals already. The open part of practice starts tomorrow for the Arizona Cardinals, but for the most part, this is the week. This is the week for all these teams to report. And now that we're seeing that Adam Schefter has reported that the Commanders have now placed Terry McLaurin on the reserve/did not report list, this can get a lot hairier than most people anticipated. Like, I'm going to be real. This can get pretty darn hairy. So we'll see. We'll see how it all shakes out. Will they trade him? I don't know. It would be foolish for the Commanders to do something like that, but if you're not getting any production and if you don't want to pay him for whatever reason, at the end of the day, we're going to have to kind of wait and see how that all shakes out, right? We're going to have to kind of wait and see how that all shakes out. So Terry McLaurin, a name to really kind of follow suit. Now, of course, I'm always going to have to ask the question, do any of you guys want Terry McLaurin? I think it would be foolish to not say no. We all know that he is a number one wide receiver, and rightfully so. He's a great asset. Will the Cardinals do it? Most likely not, right? Most likely not. I don't think they're going to be bringing in a guy using draft capital and on top of that, extending him. Especially because they do feel, I feel like they feel confident with their wide receiving core. Now, of course, it's not my decision. I mentioned this in most likely all my streams. I would love to add another veteran weapon for Kyler, if I can be real. But if they feel confident, let's see what preseason and the regular season has to hold, because that's what we're going to be talking about next. If you guys did not know, Keenan Allen, a very, very top tier, probably one of the best free agents that are still available right now. There was a report that came out here from Jordan Schultz about Keenan Allen. This is exactly what it says. So Jordan Schultz comes out and says this: free agent wide receiver Keenan Allen, one of the top remaining players on the market, has drawn interest from multiple teams in recent weeks. My understanding is he's been waiting for the training camp to open to better assess the landscape and get a clearer picture of each team's wide receiver situation. Now, let's talk about this, shall we? Let's talk about this. The Keenan Allen update. I think we've all kind of came back and sat back and talked and said things like, hey, like, this is a real playmaker here. This is a player that is very, very good. Why isn't he on a team, right? Why isn't he in a team right now? You could say the same thing for Amari Cooper as well. Amari Cooper is probably one of the top free agents that are still out there. But you got two wide receivers right now that are kind of waiting and probably playing the waiting game, because per this report, for Jordan Schultz, they want to get a landscape. They don't want to be on the bench. They don't want to sit on the bench. They want to be productive, or at least Keenan Allen's camp has said that, right? They want to be on the field, right? So that makes sense. Like they want to get a better understanding of where these wide receiving core is. Now, we're always whenever we have these conversations, we're always going to place it back to the Arizona Cardinals. Should they be interested in a Keenan Allen? Well, you know my response, right? You know what I would like to say or see by this Arizona Cardinals organization. I would hope that they would be interested. Do I think they're interested? Probably not. Probably not. Like, I think they are confident, right? And I had my guy Tyler Drake of Arizona Sports, and I had Donnie from Sports Illustrated earlier this week, if not the week prior. I ended up asking him, like, why do we feel, or why do they feel like the Cardinals didn't really address the wide receiving core, or just the offense in general? And both of them pretty much said in consensus, what it seems like is that they are pretty confident with their current state of the wide receiving core right now, right? Now, obviously, Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Wilson, Greg Dortch seems to be the 1, 2, 3 guys. After them, Xavier Weaver. Next, probably Quez Watkins, Zay Jones, Tristan Jackson is still on this team as well. There was a guy that we ended up drafting in 2024, which was a late round pick in Tyjon Palmer. He really hasn't got an opportunity with the Arizona Cardinals. So does he get an opportunity, or are they pretty much set at wide receiver, right? With Marv, Michael, and Greg Dortch. It does feel like they are probably confident with those three wide receivers. But if you ask anybody, right, to maybe list off or I guess rank, because we are still kind of in the season of ranking everybody's wide receiving core, I don't think we would be at the top list of one of the best wide receiving cores. Like, I'm going to be real. I don't think we're going to be on the top of anybody's list. And it's unfortunate. It really is. But at the end of the day, we a lot of teams also don't have a Trey McBride, right? So because the Cardinals have, I would say 2 names in terms of weapons, like receiving weapons, not wide receivers, but like receiving weapons for the Arizona Cardinals offense. We got 2 weapons. That really is usually more than enough for an offense to get going, right? With Trey McBride up the middle as a tight end, and you got Marvin Harrison Jr., right? Wide receiver going into his year 2. Michael Wilson, we're all aware of him. We like him, right, as a fan base. Greg Dortch being the number 3. But that's the question, right? Will the Arizona Cardinals go after for example, a Keenan Allen? Well, I mean, hearing what Jordan Schultz had to say, there's a lot of intrigue, right? There's a lot of intrigue when it comes down to Keenan Allen. Will the Cardinals do it? I don't know, right? I don't know. It doesn't seem like they're going to. It doesn't feel like they're going to do it, but I would be absolutely on board if they were to do something like this. If they were to do something like this, this would be absolutely magnificent. I feel like this can put this offense, like, this is the missing piece, right? This is the missing piece. Now, we can be sitting here, right, week 2, week 3, and saying to ourselves, oh man, Greg Dortch is good, or maybe Xavier Weaver does get an opportunity and he really shows out, then I'll just swallow my, oh man, I was wrong, right? Then I'll swallow the, oh man, I was wrong. I shouldn't have worried. But usually when I have some sort of worry, it usually kind of haunts us. Probably like 2 or 3 weeks, 4 weeks down the road, it usually kind of haunts us a little later on. I would like the Arizona Cardinals to pull the trigger. Do I think they're going to? Probably not. Probably not. But of course, when you're seeing a report like this come out, it does bring a level of intrigue of, should the Cardinals go after a guy like Keenan, right? We've said this. I think you all know my stance already in the situation. I would love it, right? And here's the thing. You don't have to give up draft capital for him. You don't, right? That's the beautiful part. And Keenan Allen in Chicago last year, spent most of his career with the Chargers, but was pretty solid. 1 year with the Chicago Bears last year, he did 744 yards, 7 touchdowns. In 2023, he had over 1,200 yards at the Chargers, 7 touchdowns. In 2022, he had 752 yards, 4 touchdowns. Like, he's had multiple, at least 4 over 1,000 yard seasons, at least 4. I could see maybe even 5, maybe 6. He's a veteran that's able to do it, right? Be very, very smart, savvy in this offense. I would love it. I would love the Cardinals to do something like this. I just probably won't happen. Probably won't happen. Now, what is the vet minimum, right? Because you're also got to take into consideration, although Keenan Allen right now is sitting in July 23rd and he's not signed per this report, right? Per this report here from Jordan Schultz, there's a lot of teams, but he wants to be pick and choosy, which is smart, which is absolutely smart. Very smart. He wants to go to a place that's really going to give him an opportunity, right? He wants to go to a place. Now, where is the Arizona Cardinals cap space right now? That's a good question. Per Over the Cap right now, Over the Cap has the Arizona Cardinals at a team cap space of $35.4 million right now. Over the Cap has the Arizona Cardinals at $35.4 million right now in terms of money-wise. So we got money. We got money to spend if they were to do something like this, right? We do. I think right now we are the 4th highest in cap space amongst all teams in the NFL. We got the Patriots with a grip amount of money. They got close to 60 million. It's crazy. The Lions got 48 million. It's crazy. The 49ers 45 million. Crazy. Cardinals 35 mil. Packers 35, Seahawks 34. There's a lot of teams with a lot of money right now. A lot of teams with a lot of money. You also got to keep in mind there's going to be a lot of players being cut when the 53-man roster gets shaken down, right? So what is a player like Keenan Allen going to be worth, right? I mean, he's 33 years old. He's probably going to sign a 1-year deal. Like, let's be real. It's probably going to be a 1-year deal that he's probably looking forward to. But if there's a lot of teams that are interested, I mean, that does help him in terms of price-wise. Now, of course, we have seen this tactic before where it seems like his market is a lot better than most people want to say, or it seems better because obviously media as well as sports agencies, right? They're usually in cahoots, right? They're usually in cahoots with each other. So maybe this is one of those things where people want, like, maybe the agent said, hey, there's a lot of attention at Keenan. He just wants to go to the right place. And all of that can be true. You never know. But what is Keenan Allen worth, right? What would you have to pay for a veteran 33-year-old wide receiver, right? I mean, the market right now, I'm trying to think of a comp in terms of who would be, I guess, the best comp when it comes down to Keenan Allen. I mean, I would have said Amari Cooper, but Amari Cooper's also not paid either. There's still Amari Cooper still waiting, right? Let me take a look at the list right now in terms of the top paid wide receivers. Now, obviously, he's not going to get paid top money. Obviously, he's 33 years old. Although he had a great career, we're probably looking along the lines of maybe a 1 year. I'm trying to look at like the type of players that are getting like Cortland Sutton right now. Like let's just Cortland Sutton right now, 30 years old. I think he's getting paid, what is it, 20 total value average per year, about 13.7 mil. Cortland Sutton from the Broncos. Cooper Kupp just received a contract with the Seahawks. He's getting 15 a year. So maybe that might be what it takes when and it comes down to Keenan. Now, Keenan, maybe it might take anywhere between 13, 14, 15 million a year. Who knows, right? Who knows at the end of the day? But that's probably where the range is going to be, or in terms of where I would feel confident if I was the general manager of the Arizona Cardinals. Because you also got Rashad Bateman, 26 years old, but he really hasn't proved very much. Like, I feel like the best comp would probably be Cooper Kupp because he's 32 years old. Keenan Allen, 33 years old right now. So if he's getting paid 15 a year, now granted, he's got a 3-year deal. We're probably not going to be giving a multi-year deal when it comes down to Keenan Allen. It'd probably be like a 1-year deal, but maybe 13, 14, 15 million a year. It's probably what like a 1-year deal. So when it comes down to 2026, you don't have to really worry about it. Or the Cardinals can do what they're doing, and which probably seems like they're going to continue to do what they do, and just run with the same wide receiving core, which isn't a bad thing, right? Which isn't a bad thing. It's just we're going to have to wait and see how this all shakes out, right? We're going to have to wait and see how this all shakes out. So, per Jordan Schultz, Keenan Allen, one of the top remaining players on the market, has drawn interest from multiple teams in recent weeks. My understanding is he's been waiting for training camp to open to better assess the landscape and get a clearer picture of each team's wide receiver situation. So, for what it's worth, there is that. There's also the whole Terry McLaurin situation that might be getting a lot hairier than most people want to give credit for. This is going to be absolutely crazy. We'll have to kind of wait and see how this all shakes out. But let's take a look to see what you guys are saying here in the chat. We got Pedro in the chat asking about how much you think he would pay. What players will be traded for him? If you're talking about Keenan Allen is a free agent right now. If you're talking about Terry McLaurin, yeah, that's going to be a package. That'll be a package. But Keenan Allen is a free agent, so it'll just be compensation in terms of money-wise. Adrian in the chat. What's up, Adrian? At least try to think about Keenan. He's still a dog. He would make our wide receiving room go from one of the lowest to a mediocre wide receiver. That would be possible. Yeah, 100%. 100%. That's the thing. When it comes down to Keenan Allen or even an Amari Cooper, it will upgrade your wide receiving core. It will. Absolutely. Ask anybody out there that has non-biasness coming up from an Arizona, or like that has non-biasness towards Arizona Cardinals, right? To rank our wide receiving core. We won't get a lot of credit, right? Especially when you have those first-round talented guys that were drafted last year, with the Malik hitting over 1K, Brian Thomas Jr. hitting over 1K, Ladd McConkey going over 1K. Marvin Harrison Jr., unfortunately, is the only one that didn't go over 1K. Now, I don't think it's fully his fault, right? I don't think it's fully his fault at all, but sometimes people like to look at that and make it, an assessment based on that. So you got Marvin, which people seem to say, oh, bust, not good. I don't think he's a bust, but people saying that, right? And then you got on the other side of the coin, right? Then you got on the other side of the coin, you got Michael Wilson, which we're high on, but a lot of people don't really know Michael Wilson like that, right? Adding Keenan Allen or an Amari Cooper would be good. It would be amazing. An upgrade, drastically upgrade to our wide receiving core. Now, like I said before, will it happen? I don't know. Is there enough? What's the word? I guess. Is there a lot of, like, is this true? Like, is this report true that he really has a lot of interest? Well, I mean, I think he will get signed, especially after training camp, if there is some unfortunate things that happen. Because let's be real, like, we've been victims of that last year as well, where we're going into training camp and then we get news that one of our players goes down for the year, right? So he's just looking for the best situation for him. Don't blame him one bit. I think it's very, very smart of him. And we'll have to kind of wait and see how how it all shakes out here at the end of the day. But I would love Keenan Allen personally. But do the Cardinals love him? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to kind of wait and see how this shakes out. Randall V says, we barely give opportunity to our wide receiver one. That's true. That's true. I mean, here's the thing, right? Randall, I mean, you're not wrong, right? You're not wrong. I'm hoping that this Drew Petzing offense / Kyler Murray can get this offense to the point where what we thought we were going to be in 2024, right? We've seen flashes. We've seen flashes of what this offense can be, especially with being spearheaded by our running back in James Conner. We've seen what this offense can do. We've seen it. It's just, are they going to be able to get us to that level? That's the big question out there, right? That's the big question. We'll have to kind of wait and see how it shakes out. I'm hoping that year 3 of Kyler and Drew Petzing together. Some people might say 2.5 years, but it's year 3, right? Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. We got a few people here in the chat. We got Bolt in the chat, says old and broken. I wouldn't say broken. I mean, Keenan Allen last year had 744 yards. I wouldn't say, I mean, older. Definitely older when it comes down to wide receiver status, or, yeah, I don't think he's broken. I mean, is he dealing with some injury? I mean, as you get older, that comes with the territory, right? It comes with the territory. But at the end of the day, he would be a good asset for the Arizona Cardinals to potentially go after, right? Potentially go after. So, for the people that are just joining, appreciate you guys for being here. Subscribe if this is your first time here. Smack the like button as well. We got a lot of news with the Arizona Cardinals. Not really much pertaining to training camp. We're going to be getting a lot more news later on today and tomorrow as well when the open practice starts up for the Arizona Cardinals, which I'm already seeing on X/Twitter. There's so many videos from other teams. Like, I want to get involved in that too. I want to see a highlight from Trey McBride hurdling somebody. I want to see an interception from Garrett Williams. I want to see that too. We haven't seen that so far. Obviously, open practices are not going to start until tomorrow, which that's one thing I'm really, really excited for. Football season is pretty much back, right? It's pretty much back. So we'll see. We'll see. Let's keep it going here. Got a few people here in the chat. We have Julio in the chat, says he will have 10 targets all year, and they will say he's washed. I mean, the alternative for the Cardinals right now is probably going to be Zay Jones, right? Zay Jones and Xavier Weaver are probably going to be those two guys that are going to have to fight for reps from Greg Dortch, right? From Greg Dortch. I think it's going to be Greg Dortch's job to lose when it comes down to that slot position. But I really, really want to see somebody that is over 6 foot so Kyler can see somebody using the drag route, somebody being there, right? Like, there's so much potential when it comes down to the middle of the field, like between the hashes, right? Between the first down. I'm not talking about when, a lot further out. I'm talking about within the 10, right? Within the first down. There's so much opportunity there that we need to get more productive there. We need to get more productive. Let's keep it with the chat here. We got a few people here. I think people might be having some issues with the chat. It looks like here in the chat. Yeah, we are live on YouTube right now. No, I don't think we're on X, right? No, we're not on X. We're going to try to stick it with the YouTube family. That's probably what we're going to do this year. We might go on X every once in a while, but there's not really any benefits for me streaming on X anymore. So it's probably going to be mainly through YouTube is what we're going to primarily be doing moving forward, at least in 2025. And we're going to take a look to see how it goes. But we are going to be doing a lot more play-by-plays. I know it was kind of scarce when people were asking, like, "Oh, are you going to do this game? Are you going to do this game?" We're gonna do most games when it comes down to live play-by-plays. Those things are so fun. It really are, especially when you're watching at home and you can't go to the stadium. You have a place to go, so we can do a live play-by-play and kind of chop it up with each other. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Drama, what's up? Yo, what's up, man? I seen you like 2 weeks ago at the AZ Sports Shop. Did you? Which AZ Sports Shop? Because I'm kind of now I'm trying to think about, was I at the AZ Sport? What AZ Sports Shop? Let me know in the chat. Appreciate you for being here, Drama. Slim in the chat says, "Hell no, Randall. He'll end up pissing Kyler Murray off." I mean, that's funny. That's funny. Randall in the chat says, "I really wish we had Cliff Kingsbury as our OC, not our head coach." I mean, here's the thing, right? When it comes down to Cliff Kingsbury, he's not coming back. He's not coming back. And I know you're saying that you would rather brought him in as an OC as opposed to just hiring him straight up as a head coach. Yeah, I mean, I agree. It probably would have been smarter for the Arizona Cardinals to do something like that, right? It would have been. Now, money had to be right. If you were going to pay him more than what he just got fired that year, right? So yeah, I mean, there's really no reason why we shouldn't have poached him as an OC. Yeah, there probably really wasn't any reason why the Cardinals shouldn't have. But we jumped the gun. We wanted to go after the young, hot, young head coach, guru offensive mind, and it kind of ended up biting us in the butt. So it is what it is. Why'd you stop covering the Sun? I don't really cover anything else other than the Arizona Cardinals. Biggest reason as to why is that the algorithm for YouTube, it's very, very stickler on what they are promoting, because you could have all the subscribers in the world, but it's all about recommendations. If the algorithm does not know where to send your videos, then your YouTube channel kind of dies. So I want it to be very, very niche when it comes down to what sports team it was, because I was trying to do the Diamondbacks, but like it's so many games, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I already have so many headaches with this team alone. Like add 3 more headaches or 2 more headaches, like the Suns, and add the Diamondbacks to my mental health. I just don't think it's going to be good for me. I don't think it's going to be good for me. Although I'm still watching on my personal life, it would be hard for me to constantly be on video, constantly doing day by day streaming about a team that's making me mad. You know what I mean? I hope that makes sense. But at the end of the day, that's just kind of where my mind is. But yeah, it's Cardinals what we focus on mainly on this channel. So off that Camelback. Was that Camelback? Trying to think of where I was 2 weeks ago. Was I in a sports? Was I? Huh. One of them because they suck right now. And that's the thing. Like, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, this is a thing that people don't, I guess, until somebody says it, right? What you go through in a specific season with the team that you care so much about, right? It's a very emotional draining. It's emotionally draining when it comes down to covering a team that you just either they're not doing well, right? And that's kind of how I felt in 2023. I'm going to be real. 2023 was really, really hard to cover the Arizona Cardinals. Although you can say to yourself, "Hey, this is good. This is fun. This is cool." But like at the end of the day, we're not really accomplishing much, right? Because I care about wins more than anything. That's what I care about. And if I were to force myself to do Suns and Diamondbacks, not only am I taking away from my family, you know what I mean, which is obviously family above all, but it also is gonna strain on my emotional side and in my mental health, and I just don't think that I don't think it's gonna be good for me. But yeah, I watch it all, love it all. Watch Diamondbacks, watch Suns, watch it all. But we mainly focus down on the Cardinals on this channel. You were with your daughter and brother or something. Oh, yeah, then that might have been me. Yeah, I got a daughter and I got a brother. Oh, oh, then yes. Oh, I read this wrong. I thought you were saying like you're talking about the card store. Yeah, you're talking about the card store. Yeah, you're talking about the card store. Oh, yeah, my bad. My mind went to, I thought you were talking about, like a sports jersey store. You're talking about the card store. Yeah, I was there. Yeah, that was me. Yeah, that was me. Cool, man. No, yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Next time, say what's up. But yeah, I was with my daughter. My brother was there too. Yep. Eddie in the chat says, Cliff made it hard on himself too because he didn't want the offensive court. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah, he was stubborn. Yeah, Cliff was stubborn as heck. He did not want to get, like, we even said that, like, from the get. Like, can you just get somebody to help with the play calls? And he was like, nah, I can't do that. And then, kind of bit him on the butt in the end of the day. So, yeah, he wanted to have all the glory, and unfortunately, it didn't end up working, right? Let's read a couple more comments. Nice. Well, next time, say what's up, man. Next time. I'm going to be in training camp too. So if any of you guys see me in training camp, please feel free. Please feel free. It might look like I'm busy, but I have I'm not busy. I have no problem saying hi. You know what I mean? I have no problem saying hi. So if you guys see me in training camp, absolutely. More than merrier. That's completely fine. Let's read a couple more comments. Appreciate you guys for being here up and foremost. Training camp starts tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be making a video a little later on today, hopefully giving you guys updates on what we kind of been hearing. Obviously from Jonathan Gannon. I think he's going to be speaking a little later on today. Most likely there's going to be a lot of media when it comes down to these players as well. So we're going to be kind of making a video about that as well. These live streams, we're going to continue to do these live streams. I got to figure out a schedule to make it a little bit more consistent so everybody's fully aware of when to tune in. But yeah, man, it's all Cardinal season in 2025, and I'm really excited about it. Lorenzo, I want to see the play calling open up as well. Then again, not see the run game. I agree. Biggest thing on this, we got to convert those third downs. If we convert those third downs, which we struggled with in a lot of games, If we can convert those third downs, then it opens up more, obviously, more opportunity for more games, right? Fair. Appreciate you, Drama. Thank you so very much, up and foremost. Appreciate y'all. Isaiah Bond is free, boy. Is he? Huh. Didn't know that. I didn't even know Isaiah Bond was, is he even, is he tech? I know obviously he didn't get drafted, right? Is he out of, oh. Bond's defamation suit dismissed. Huh. Interesting. Isaiah Bond. I don't know if the Cardinals will do it. They're very, very clear on, or they're very, very, what's the word? Like, they want a very specific type of player, right? That's interesting. Austin in the chat says Isaiah Bond would be huge for us. That would be nuts. He was a projected, third, fourth round pick? Along with like Tez. Hey, that's interesting. I just don't think they're going to, when you see, I know it was dismissed, but you know how the Arizona Cardinals are, that they are very, very specific on a type of guy they're looking for. And I don't know. I would be shocked if they do. I wouldn't be mad. He's intriguing. Yeah, he's very intriguing. Absolutely. I don't think so either, but very, very intriguing. Yep. There you go. Cautious. Love that, Steve. Love it. Yeah. When it comes down to the legal troubles and stuff like that, it's very, very, yeah. They're going to be very, very cautious when it comes down to that type of stuff, for sure. All right. So we are going to be closing up shop right here. I know the Jonathan Gannon is probably going to be speaking within the next hour or so. I will be tuning in and obviously trying to get as much information as we possibly can. We will be making a video a little later on, obviously covering everything, but the training camp open portion starts tomorrow. Football season's back in the air, ladies and gentlemen. I'm super, super excited about it. We will be closing up shop right here. Do me a huge favor. Smack up the like button here on your way out. Subscribe if this is your first time here. Today, we discussed, obviously, Tyrann Mathieu, Honey Badger, now calling it quits, retiring. from the NFL, had a great career. Congrats to him. We got Trey McBride, made the top 100 list. Super excited about that as well. Talked about a little bit about Terry McLaurin. I would love him. It's just going to be way too expensive. I don't think the Cardinals are going to do it. But then there's also the idea of Keenan Allen, right? Keenan Allen with, per Jordan Schultz, a lot of intrigue from Keenan Allen, right? So we'll have to kind of wait and see how that shakes out. But at the end of the day, we had a really good discussion. Everybody in the chat, you guys are all amazing. It's only going to get better moving forward. It's all going to get just more and more and more interactive in 2025. It's all Cardinals all the way in, man. Let's get this going. Hopefully we can make it to the playoffs. But ladies and gentlemen, have a great rest of your day. You guys are all amazing. Have a great rest of your day. As always, go Cardinals.